Hello, everybody. I decided to do something with these Codex readings. When I first played the game, I was playing it on PlayStation, and trying to read these on TV screen started to hurt my eyes. So I tried to read them at first, but after a while, it became too much of a hassle. But I figured I should probably do it now since I can actually, at a good distance, I can actually read them. But I also figured some people probably won't want to see these. So to make it easier, I'm going to put, every once in a while, I'll just do an episode that's just completely me reading these. I got some tea, and I'm not too sure about, it's like salted caramel black tea. I'm not sure. I don't know if I like it yet. I've only taken one sip. And so let's begin reading with creatures. So first, Archdemon. In darkness eternal they search, for those who had gouged? I've never seen that word before. Them on until at last they found their prize. Their god, their betrayal, their sleeping dragon Dumat. Their taint twisted even in the false god, and the whisperer awoke at this in pain and horror, and led them to wreak havoc upon all the nations of the world. The first blight. You gonna scroll down for me? Thank you. The false dragon gods of the Tevinter Imperium lie buried deep within the earth, where they have been imprisoned since the Maker cast them down. No one knows what it is that drives the Darkspawn in their relentless search for the sleeping old gods. Perhaps it is instinct, as moths will fly into torch flames. Perhaps there is some remnant of desire for vengeance upon the ones who gouged it. Is that really that word? I don't know. The Magisters to assault heaven. Whatever the reasons, when Darkspawn find one of these ancient dragons, it is immediately afflicted by the taint. It awakens twisted and corrupted and leads the Darkspawn in a full-scale invasion of the land. A blight. Dun dun dun. Genlock. These are the most common Darkspawn in the underground. Stocky and tough, Genlocks are notoriously difficult to kill, even by magic. Alphas. In any group of Genlocks, there is usually one who is dominant. As the tallest, strongest, and smartest of their kind, Alphas serve as a sort of commander, directing or bullying the others in combat. Emissaries. The most intelligent of the Alphas become gifted sorcerers with many abilities akin to blood magic. These are the emissaries, and they usually only appear during a blight. Hurlock. Taller than their Genlock cousins, the Hurlocks are roughly of human size but are possessed of considerable strength and constitution. The shock troop of the Darkspawn, a single berserking Hurlock can often be a match for numerous opponents at once. They are known to adorn themselves with roughly carved tattoos to keep track of their skills and deeds, though it is unknown whether or not there is a uniform standard to these markings. Alpha. Alpha Hurlocks are more intelligent and more skilled fighters, often serving as commanders or even generals. Hurlock emissaries have also been known to appear during a blight. These Darkspawns are the only ones recorded as being capable of human speech and are often capable of employing magic. Mabari Warhorn. Hounds. Dogs are an essential part of Ferelden culture, and no dog is more prized than the Marabi. The breed is as old as myth and seem to have been bred from wolves who've served Dane. Prized for their intelligence and loyalty, these dogs are more than mere weapons of status symbols. The hounds choose their masters and pair with them for life. To be the master of Mabari anywhere Ferelden is to be recognized instantly as a person of worth. The Mabari are an essential part of Ferelden military strategy. Trained hounds can easily pull knights from horseback, God, I can talk today, or break lines of pikemen. And the sight and sound of a wave of war dogs howling starlike has been known to cause panic about giving the most hardened infantry soldiers. It's hard to breathe. Still getting over a cold I had recently. Okay. Yay, tea. Orcs. Never really considered that word before. Towering over the Darkspawn kin, the massive Orgers are a rare sight on the battlefield. Traditionally, they only appear during a blight, but some records claim, God, I can totally read today. Records claim that Orgers have been spotted in the deep roads, hunting alone or in small groups. At least one report by the Grey Warrens claimed that an Orger was spotted alone in the Corcari Wilds in 919 Dragon, though it was weakened and easily dispatched. Up to 100 of these creatures can accompany a darkspawn horde at any one time during a blight, often using their great strength to burst through fortifications and demolish the front lines of the opposing army. They use brute force to charge their enemies like bulls, slam the ground with their fists to shake enemies off their feet, and hurl giant rocks into the face of oncoming foes. Melee can be difficult against a giant that snatches a warrior up in one hand, crushing the life out of him or beating him to oblivion with the other hand. The nimble can try to wiggle his way free, or an ally can attempt an array of stunning blows in order to free their comrade in danger. Grey Warden's lore urges caution when slaying an orca. Unless it is sure that they have received a major wound to the head or the heart, it is possible that they are lying dormant and will regenerate to full health within a matter of minutes. During a blight, most Grey Wardens recommend burning all darkspawn to ashes, dead ogres in particular. Rat. A tired thing about rats. What are you, mad? Even the most giant of rats isn't going to present that much of a problem to anyone larger than a cat. Even the stories and archives that tell of blight-hatched rats do only attribute them with the ability to spread the plague. The rats themselves get no larger than perhaps 3 feet in length, covered in sharp bony spikes and boils. Disturbing, certainly, but dangerous. This is no fantasy conjured by madmen, young man. You have much more important creatures to concern yourself with. Transcript of a lecture given by Nalia, senior chanter of Horsburg, 1844, blessed. Note, she was later eaten by a blight rat in 1846, blessed. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but oh gods. Shade. It has often been suggested that the only way for a demon to affect the world of the living is by possessing a living, or one's living body, but this is not always true. Indeed, the Shade is one such creature, a demon in its true form that is adapted to affect the world around it. My hypothesis is this. We already know that many demons become confused when they pass through the veil into our world. They are unable to tell the living from the dead, the very static nature of our universe being confusing to a creature that is accustomed to a physicality. Wow, this sentence is just throwing me off. To physicality defined entirely by emotion and memory. Most demons seek to immediately seize upon anything they perceive as life, to jealousy attempting to possess it. But what of those that do not? What of those that encounter no life or fail to possess a body? What of those that are more cautious by their nature? These demons watch, they lurk, they envy. In time, such a demon will learn to drain energy from the psyche of those it encounters, just as it does in the Fade. Once it has drained enough, it has the power to manifest and will forever after be known as Shade. Such a creature spurns possession. It instead floats as a shadow across its piece of land, preying upon the psyche of any who cross its path. Perhaps it believes itself still in the Fade. There is evidence to believe that this is so. A Shade will weaken the living by its very proximity. If it focuses its will, it can drain a single target very quickly. Some have even been known to assault the minds of a living victim, causing confusion or horror and making the target ripe for the kill. The tragedy of a Shade is perhaps that once it has drained a target whole, its appetite is only heightened rather than slacked. From the journals of former senior enchanter Malice, once of the Circle Ravine, declared apostate in 1920 Dragon Age. Giant spiders. Giant spiders tend to appear in old ruins and other places where the veil has become thin because of magical disturbances or a great number of deaths. In such places, spirits and demons pass into the world of the living and attempt to take control over living beings, spiders amongst them. Not all scholars accept this explanation for the presence of these beasts, however. Some claim that the thinning of the veil allows magic to leak from the Fade, tainting such creatures as those spiders to transform into larger and more potent creatures than they ever would become naturally. While such spiders are known to possess powerful poisons and the ability to fling their webs at opponents in combat, studies of them have been few and full range of their abilities are unknown. In other words, good luck. Also, Morgan is just frozen right here. Wolf. It is rather unfair, the reputation that the wolf possesses in Ferelden, for people that so clearly adore their hounds. Ferelden simultaneously harbor a distrust of wolves that borders on unreasonable. Unreasonable, that is, if one were not familiar with the ancient legends regarding werewolves. There was a time in Ferelden past when demons inhabited the bodies of wolves in great numbers, causing the wars against werewolves and spreading great fear and panic. Werewolves were slain, but even today the noble wolf is still looked upon with distrust. From Legends of Ferelden by Mother Alias, Denerim, 910 Dragon. An attack by wolves upon civilized folk happens rarely, often only in times of desperation, and even then only when the wolves have advantage of numbers. This can change during a blight. When darkspawn rise onto the surface, their presence dramatically alters the savage nature of the normal beast. In Blight Pass, as the corruption of the darkspawn spread through the wild or areas of Thaddeus, it would infect the animals found there, and the more powerful than them would survive and be transformed into a more vicious and dangerous beast. A blight wolf is one such example, mad with the pain of affection, and only through the overriding command of the darkspawn does it still retain some semblance of its pack's instinct. Blight wolves are always found in large groups and will tend to overwhelm a single target, if they can, using their numbers to their advantage. It is fortunate that these creatures rarely survive the corruption for very long. Well, that explains why wolves are always attacking us. Items. Havard, I guess? Havard was Marfa's closest friend. Marfa's closest friend. I should probably use all the symbols in the word. They were children together in the same Havard clan. They fought side by side in so many battles that father dubbed him Havard the Aegis, better to have at his side than any shield. Marafat brought Havard with him to meet with the Tavinas. It was unthinkable to stand before his enemies without his Aegis. When he understood that Marafat was giving an magistrate over to be executed, Havard, unwilling to draw a sword against his friend and liege, placed himself between Andraste and the Taviner soldiers. The Taviner struck him down, and Farath left him for dead. Ragus was not so easily destroyed. Havard lived and made his way, gravely wounded, to the gates of Marathos to stop the execution. Too late. He found only the ashes of the prophet, left to the wind and rain. When his fingers touched the ash, his ears filled with song, and he saw a vision of Andraste, dressed in cloth of starlight. She knelt at his side, saying, "Rise, Aegis of the faith. The Maker shall never forget you so long as I remember." His wounds healed instantly, and with new strength Havard gathered up Andraste's remains and carried them safely back to the lands of Almeri. Magic and Religion. Commandments of the Maker. These truths the Maker has revealed to me, as there is but one world, one life, one death there is, but one God, and He is our Maker. They are sinners who have given their love to false gods. Magic exists to serve men, and never to rule over him. Foul and corrupt as they, who have taken his gift, and turned it against his children. They shall be named Maleficere, accursed ones. They shall find no rest in this world, or beyond. All men are the work of our Maker's hands, from the lowest slaves to the highest king. Those who bring harm without provocation to the least of his children are hated and accursed by the Maker. Those who bear witness and work that deceived others know this: there is but one truth. All things are known to our Maker, and He shall judge their lives. All things in this world are finite. What one man gains, the another has lost. Those who steal from their brothers and sisters do harm to their livelihood and to the peace of mind. Our Maker sees this with a heavy heart. Transfiguration 1:1-5. I don't know why I'm having so many problems with my throat all of a sudden. There was no word for heaven or for earth, for sea or sky. All that existed was silence. Then the voice of the Maker rang out. The first word, and His word became all that might be. Dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. And from it made His firstborn. He said to them, "In my image I forged you. To you I give dominion over all that exists. By your will may all things be done." Then in the center of heaven He called forth a city with towers of gold, streets with music for cobblestones, and banners which flew without wind. There He dwelled, ready to see the wonders His children will create. Wait, what? Children of the Maker gathered before his golden throne. It sang hymns of praise unending, but their songs were the songs of the cobblestones. They shone with a golden light, reflected from their baker's throat. They held forth the banners, flew on the road. Him? There you go. The voices of the Maker shook the fate, saying, "In my image I have wrought my firstborn. Human given dominion over all that exists. By your will, all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever changing." There, that works. And he knew he had wrought amiss. So the Maker turned from his firstborn, took from the Fade a measure of its living flesh, and placed it apart from the spirits, and spoke to it, saying, "Here I decree opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone it shall surrender, and the world is given a new life. And no longer was it formless, ever changing, but held fast, immutable, with words for heaven and for earth, sea and sky. At last did the Maker of the living world make a man immutable as the substance of the earth, with souls made of dream and idea, hope and fear, endless possibilities. Then the Maker said, "To you, my second-born, I grant this gift. In the heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. From the Fade I crafted you, and to the Fade you shall return, each night in dreams, and you may always remember me." And then the Maker sealed the gates of the golden city, and there he dwelled, waiting to see the wonders children would create. Threndius 5:1-8. Okay, this is a lot more reading than I expected. The Fade. The study of the Fade is old as humankind. For as long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting path, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own world thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Taviner Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the chariot of the Fade, ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the desperate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits, before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, as the gentry teaches us, their great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor mission. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context of life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals, and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. From Tranquility and the Role of the Fade in a Human Culture, by first enchanter Josephus. The Tranquil. The Tranquil are the least understood but most visible members of the Circle. Every city of respectable size boasts a Circle of Magi shop, and every one of these shops is run by a Tranquil proprietor. The name is a misnomer, for they are not tranquil at all. Rather, they are like inanimate objects that speak. If a table wished to sell you an enchanting penknife, it would pass as one of these people. Their eyes are expressionless, their face monotone. Incomparable craftsmen they might be, but they are hardly the sort of mages to put ordinary folk at ease. From In Pursuit of Knowledge, The Travels of a Chantry Scholar, by Brother Genitivia. Great, another long one. Let's do this. The Sacred Ashes of Andraste. Only one person witnessed Marfareth's betrayal, Havard the Aegis. A childhood friend of Marfareth has accompanied his chief to the meeting with the Turnveniers, not realizing what was planned. When he understood that Marfareth was given Andraste over to be executed, Havard unwillingly unwilling to draw his swords against his friend and liege, placed himself between Droste and Trevenir's soldiers. The Trevenir struck him down, and Rothe left him for dead. Gravely woman Haver made his way to the gates. Okay, it's one of those ones. Got it. His way to the gates of Mithras, stop at the execution. When he reached it, the terrible deed was already done. The armies on the plains long since dispersed. Havard, cursing his weakness, gathered the earthly remains of Droste, that had been left to the wind and rain, and wept. When his fingers touched the pile of ash, his ears filled with song, and he saw before him a vision of Droste, dressed in cloth made of starlight. She knelt at his side, saying, "The Maker shall never forget you as long as I remember." The song faded, and the vision with him. The Havard was alone, but his wounds were healed. With new strength, Havard took up the ashes of Our Lady and bore them back to the lands of the Lamerie. Fearing the Merfeiller's supporters would defile them, Havard took the ashes of Droste to a secluded place high in the mountains, and there he carved from the living rock as an urn to hold them. Time passed, and the whereabouts of the urn faded from memory. Perhaps it was the Maker's will that only the most worthy should find his beloved's final resting place. Now, we've only the legends, such as that of the Chevalier Lothrier, who quested to find the urn to save his dying daughter, and neither found it in time to cure her, or returned 100 years after her death. The ballads and less than certain on that point. From Theodas, Myths and Legends by Brother Gentifiah.